Hey crew, if you watched my recent video about the Evo Sportsters and the Softail Standard being canceled, well, I got something wrong and I think some of you want an apology, quite literally. Some of you made a pretty big deal about it in the comments. Not most of you, out of the 20,000 people that have watched it. I said Road King Classic instead of just calling it the Road King or the Road King Standard. Well, technically there is no Road King Standard. Yes, it's now called the Road King. They stopped calling it the Road King Classic 5 or 6 years ago, but they started calling it the Road King Classic, or came out with the Road King Classic back in 1998. And so for almost 20 years, it was the Road King Classic to me. That's the classic look. Yeah, they changed it. I got it wrong. I apologize. Can we just move on now? I think there was some confusion when I was talking about what I think will happen with the Road King. So I don't think they will cancel the Road King Special. I think what they will do is come out with a 114 instead of the 107. We no longer have a 107 model and a 114 model, and you can buy it with chrome trim or you can buy it with blacked out trim. Some people were very upset when I said they were going to cancel the Road King because they don't want a blacked out bike. They want a chrome bike, and I get it. I'm not into the completely blacked out bike myself. What I think they will do is the same thing they did with the Heritage. They'll simply offer additional trim packages. So you'll be able to buy it in these colors with chrome trim or these same colors with the blacked out trim. That's what they've been doing with the Street Glides and the Road Glides the last few years. There was a period there when if you wanted a Street Glide Special, you had to get a blacked out version. They stopped doing that a couple years ago, and they're giving you either one as a trim option. And I think that's what they'll do with the Road King if they get rid of the Road King Standard or just the Road King, not the Road King Special. Now, somebody brought up the point that if they get rid of the Road King, maybe the Street Glide and the Road Glide, the base models that are on the 107s, then what really makes the Special special? Well, we have the Lowrider S, and the S stands for Special. We don't have a Lowrider anymore, but we still have a Lowrider S. You know, I can't say they will or won't change the names. I mean, what I would love to see them do is give the base models a 114, give the Specials a 117, give the CVOs a 121 or something like that. But I don't know if they're ready to do that. You know, somebody said, oh, the CVO should have a 131. Well, they're not going to put a 131 in the CVOs unless they've got something bigger and better to sell you out of the parts and accessories catalog. That's just the way I see it. That's the way they've done it for years. They've never put their biggest motor in a production bike and then not have something else to sell you bigger out of the parts and accessories catalog for as long as I can remember. Now, I'm sure it probably happened at some point, but that's not been the trend for the last 15 years. Now, some people said, oh, they're not the same look, and I think that's the point. Harley Davidson wants to differentiate the models. We'll have the Heritage, we'll have the Road King, we'll have a Softail like maybe, you know, a Fat Bob. We may not, I don't know. I don't see many of those in dealers. That'd be a model that I'd be looking at to see how well it sells, but I haven't heard anything about that yet. And of course, you know, because I said Road King Classic a few times, some people are like, well, I don't trust anything you say. You don't even know the difference. Well, I don't have any reputable sources on the Road King other than some rumors that I've heard from a few people that they tried to order one and they were told they couldn't because it was going to be discontinued. I don't call that proof. I don't claim to have any proof. I just said it makes sense. And I think they're likely to do it. The only ones that I have any kind of evidence for, like I mentioned in the video before, is the Sportsters and the Softail Standard. But I do think it makes sense for the Road King, and I think it makes sense to do it to the Electric Glide. I mean, how many Electric Glide Standards have you guys seen on the dealer floors? Because I didn't see a one in the last year or two. Again, some people will say that's because Harley didn't produce enough of them and they're not pushing them and that's why they're not selling them, but people want them. That may be the case, but if you're Harley Davidson and parts and supplies are limited, you're having a hard time getting enough supplies to produce the bikes you want, and you're only going to get so many bat wings, Are you going to sell that Batwing on an entry-level bike? Or are you going to save it and paint it and sell it on a street glide that you get more profit out of? I know you guys don't want to hear that. You guys want Harley Davidson to do what's right for you. But they're not in the business of doing what's right for you financially. If you can't afford one, you can't afford one. What they're in the business of doing is making money. They're owned by stockholders. They have stakeholders they report to and shareholders. And in the end, they're a business and they're going to do what makes sense financially. I heard a lot of people complaining about the way Harley Davidson is headed, the direction they're headed. A lot of people think they need to make entry-level bikes for young people. And I think the fact is, young people can't afford them, aren't interested, aren't ready for a Harley Davidson yet. I don't think unless you grow up in a Harley Davidson household that most young people are that interested in Harley Davidsons, the lifestyle, the culture, the bikes, and all the things that go along with it. I think that's something you grow into as you get older and you're no longer interested in riding 200 horsepower, 400-pound motorcycles. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm totally wrong. That's kind of the way I see it and the way I think it's been for years. I don't think this is new. I don't think it's changed. And I think people have complained about it for years. I said in the last video about this topic that the used bikes are now the entry-level bikes. And that's what Harley Davidson said when they created this certified pre-owned program, that, you know, if you came in and you couldn't afford a new bike, they wanted to have used bikes to offer you. That's why they developed this certified program of pre-owned motorcycles, and that's their intent. If you can't afford a new one, here, let me put you on this used one we have over here. Once you get it paid off, you'll be able to trade that in on a new one and it'll bring your payments down on the new one and you'll be able to afford it. You'll be getting into a new bike for the same payments you have on this used bike, hopefully. Now with the inflation, I'm not sure that's true, and the markup and the surcharges and everything else. Hopefully one day things will get straightened out again with our economy and maybe everything will get a little more back on track. We can hope and pray. I'm optimistic. We'll see you guys later. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you do that YouTube thing, check out the content on my channel. And if you dig it, hit that subscribe button. If you like my vibe, check it out. Y'all stay safe. Thanks for watching and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next one.